62,400 repetitions make one truth.
Our lead story tonight, there's something new in town, and he's savagely attractive.
Surprised, Mr. Marks? I find a certain charm in these primitive artifacts. A sort of depth that's lacking in our world today. I've even dabbled in some of the extinct languages. French, Russian, German. As controller, it's my duty to see that such eccentric tastes don't infect the general population. Art and philosophy can be so unsettling to the social good. I'm happy to meet you at last, Marks. Your name has crossed my desk often in departmental briefings.
You must have a pretty bad impression if you go by the DHC's reports.
On the contrary. Between you and me, I find your director's disapproval a positive sign of your potential. Now, you must tell me, why did you bring Mr. Cooper here to civilization?
Well, as you know, our conditioning results have been falling lately. And no one knows why. I see John as raw material for emotioneering research. Genetically, he's half alpha. But in terms of conditioning, he's a blank slate.
Interesting. But risky, don't you think? Introducing an unknown element into our society? Uncertainty is something we've labored very hard to eradicate.
Well, I think we have to explore the unknown to make progress, sir.
Very well, Marks. Continue with your study. But if you don't mind, I prefer you report your findings directly to me.
Oh, I don't mind at all, sir. It'd be...
Civilization has certainly had an effect on Savage John Cooper. But what kind of effect has he had on us? We had a special report from us.
5 minutes, we'll have a complete genetic portrait of you.
I can hardly wait for you to tell me all about myself.
We'll match up the alphas who worked at the Border Center at the time of your conception and identify your father.
Why would you want to do that?
You don't want to find your father? I thought family was so important in your culture.
Bernard, just what do you think a father is?
Well, he's the man who contributes sperm at a live conception.
It takes a lot more than sperm to make a man a father. A father sacrifices for his son.
Savage. I never should have brought you here.
When your controller beckons, we all have to jump.
I mean to civilization. It was a mistake. I'm sorry.
It's nice to know a man born in a bottle can still have a soul.
So, I understand you don't care much for civilization, Mr. Cooper.
No. It seemed great at first. It's so pretty and clean. All that music wafting through the air.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about my ears. And sometimes voices.
That's...
Othello.
Why can't everyone read Shakespeare?
Anyone can. But why would they want to? It wouldn't mean anything to them. Our world isn't Shakespeare's, you know. Great tragedy. All great art really grows out of passion, conflict, social instability, and we don't have any of that anymore. People are happy.
Happy at what cost?
At the cost of art, religion, philosophy, love, science.
Science? But we've been conditioned to believe that science is everything.
Not true science, Bernard, just technology that serves the public order. Increase consumption, prevent dissatisfaction. You know, I was a pretty fair chemist when I was young. And I developed an interest in pure research. Well, I was very nearly re-engineered for it. I was a lot like you, Bernard. I had a choice to make. I loved science, but I chose to sacrifice that to serve the public happiness and not my own.
So truth is another price you pay.
Truth? Well, there was plenty of talk about truth and beauty before the wars, while men were devising insane new ways to destroy each other. It was horrible. But then, most historical facts are unpleasant, aren't they? Huh?
And what about John, sir?
Nothing. Nothing happens to him. John is the exception that proves the rule. He proves that our system is so stable, we can even tolerate a savage in our midst. If he were banished or re-engineered, some people might ask, are we missing something? But no. In this brave new world, we can all have whatever we like. And personally, I like him.
World Controller Mustafa Mond announced tonight that with support of the Directorate, a full pardon would be granted to Savage John Cooper. The law demands
punitive re-engineering of our former Director of Hatcheries and Conditioning.
What is the Savage thinking? Researchers say
I want to be alone. After Controller Mond grants social immunity to John Cooper, is this his latest snub of civilization?
Stay tuned for more details.
In developing news,
where exactly is John Cooper?
Everyone wants to know.
Wondering why you haven't seen the Savage lately?
It's because he hasn't been here.
We'll show you where he's been when the news continues.
Stay tuned for more details.
There's more to come.
Let's go behind
the story and more when we come back. Authorities say it is difficult to imagine anyone choosing to isolate themselves from society, but our Savage John Cooper has done just that.
You're looking at a live picture from the abandoned microwave tower.
Cooper's self-imposed exile, and we'll stay with this story until there are some answers to this mystery.
Researchers have
A
uncovered.
source has told us that the Savage has been confused and
The
irrational.
Savage seems to be behaving in an odd, almost mocking manner.
This story and more when we come back.
He's fun to look at, but do we really understand?
Our team coverage continues.
Unconfirmed reports that the Savage is suffering from soma
Our
withdrawal.
investigative team reports that the Savage has never taken soma, and this may explain his erratic
Just
behavior.
isn't the same about all the Savage.
Now that John Cooper's been located, the question everyone is asking, when is he coming back? Authorities say they still have no idea why.
We have a special report. How he got to this abandoned tower remains unclear tonight, although Delta witnesses working outside the phosphorus reclamation plant claim to have seen a man fitting the description. Our Savage takes a holiday from reality, but without soma. We go now to Pamela March, reporting live from the pre-war microwave transmission towers above the city.
Picture from the abandoned microwave. There are a lot of questions that remain unanswered tonight at the scene of John
The
Cooper's
scene of the soma distribution tower refers to a series of strange and disturbing incidents surrounding the Savage. Conditioning experts have made no secret about the damaging effects this behavior could have on our society.
A source has told us that the Savage has been confused and irrational.
He's over there!
He's down there!
What do you want? What do you want? I went into the woods because I wanted to breathe deep and suck all the marrow out of life. To put to rout all that was not life, and not when it came time to die, to discover that I had not lived. To be awake is to be alive.
The ancient Greeks worshipped men of action and sacrifice whom they called heroes. As civilization progressed, the role of heroes became more and more irrelevant. Now we know that heroism is really antisocial behavior that was necessary in the old, imperfect world. Because heroes change things. And we're not supposed to want anything to change. Heroes mean that one person can make a difference.
Miss Crown?
Yes.
don't see that in the book.
No, it's not in the book.
Are you saying that the textbook is wrong?
Well, what do you think?
How would I know? I don't know more than the World Consensus textbook. Neither do you. You're just one person. Who do you think you are?
Nobody.